Hello everybody, I'm Antonia and this is Noel and we are from Boxtail Soup Theatre Company and this is another Boxtail Scoop. This week we thought we would go back in time a little bit and talk to you about the music videos that we were working on before. You may remember that it was a few vlogs ago now because it was before we started working on Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. We were working on some music videos. We couldn't really tell you that much about them, but we did show you the puppets that we were making for them, or at least most of the puppets. The first video includes the puppets that you saw where there was a sort of anglerfish type puppet, a bird and some little rats, sort of skeleton rats. And you may remember that we also showed you a human head that we had started on. At the time it was bald and didn't really look like anyone in particular necessarily, but we couldn't tell you who it was that we were making because that person is relatively well known. So the music video, we're working on 3 music videos. The first of the 3 was released a couple of weeks ago and it is called Necrofauna and the Garden of Eden, and it is the first of 3 releases this year from a band called Voka Gentle, who we have admired for a long time now. And I think it's safe to say that their music has grown and grown, and the latest music is...
It's great.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Absolutely.
In fact, because we liked their music anyway.
Yes.
But when we heard the 3 songs that they wanted us to work on the videos for, we were thrilled because it was the best stuff we'd heard from them. You know, it was fantastic. So we had high hopes, and those hopes were exceeded because we were really excited about working on those tunes.
Yeah, they're absolutely brilliant. And this Necrofauna and the Garden of Eden, this first track, features Wayne Coyne from the Flaming Lips. Some of you may have heard of him and heard of the band. And they wanted us, the reason why they approached us initially, in fact, was because they decided they would like us to make a puppet version of Wayne Coyne to feature in the video. And then it grew from there, so they then actually decided that they wanted quite a lot of puppets in all 3 of the videos, the singles that they're releasing. And so we got to work creating puppets that, like I said, that you've seen already. So for Necrofauna, it's the fish, the bird, the rats, and Wayne Coyne, and we use our cats from Great Grim Tales as well in that video. We'll put a link to the video, by the way, at the end of the vlog.
Yes, obviously because of YouTube copyright things, we can't necessarily play the whole track or anything like that. So we thought the simplest thing to do, rather than showing little bits or anything like that, was just to put a link there so that you can watch the whole thing and get the full experience of hearing the tune and seeing the whole thing together.
So we first thought we would talk about making the puppet of Wayne Coyne, because it was the first time we'd ever had to make a puppet of a real human. All the rest of the puppets we've ever made have been just from our imaginations or from what we consider a character might look like, or from a description in a book, but certainly not from a real live person. So that was a slightly intimidating task, I think it's safe to say. We started off with a sketch, which I might be able to show you actually, but basically I took a photograph of Wayne Coyne and drew over it, kind of to get the sort of rough shape of the puppet frame, which you then took on the next task of making the frame from that drawing. Yeah,
and I think the difficulty was to get it. So you want it to fit in with the overall aesthetic. So we wanted it to work with the other puppets that we were making for the video. We wanted it to fit in with our style in general. So I think initially there's a danger that by trying to make it look exactly like this person, that you could actually push yourself quite a long way from the rest of the
you make.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, from the rest of the stuff that you're making. By trying to make it, I don't know, too detailed, or trying to work in a way that...
Extremely realistic, so making sure that you put in all the kind of...
Yeah, absolutely, which wasn't what we were going for. We were going for...
representation.
Exactly, yeah, representation, something that if you knew who it was, if you knew, if you recognised the voice and go, oh, that's Wayne Coyne, and then you see the puppet, you make the connection, but it still works with the other puppets in the video, and it looks like it's part of our stable of puppets, and and the result, was great. We were really pleased.
Yeah, we were really pleased with him, because there are things that, within our style, there are things that you can make sure that you do that are similar enough to the real person. So the shape of the eyes is very important. How we lidded the eyes was very important. Shape of the nose, obviously, and the placement of features generally. And then the hair and the facial hair is then a key component, isn't it, to making that next step to it looking really like the person it's supposed to be. So I've got photographs of the stages, the progress, I couldn't think of the words then, of the hair and the beard, which we can show you a few of now, I'm guessing. You could probably put them up on the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. We could put some of those up so you can see how you worked from the sort of flat colours and putting on initial pieces of paper for the hair into the way that you build it up, which was absolutely amazing. And the way the beard, I think, looks brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of all done strand by strand. So you can see, hopefully we'll have shown you that by now. And then the next stage after the hair was to think about any other little details. So obviously with the eyebrows, you want to give them the same sort of treatment as the facial hair generally. And then we decided, we looked at lots of pictures of Wayne on his Instagram and online and everything, and we saw that he often wears little sparkles, sort of sparkly jewels and things.
Yeah, like stick-on jewels and stuff. Yeah.
So we thought, right, well, the puppet has to have a couple of those. So we popped a couple of those on, and then his costuming, we gave a nod certainly to the way that we noticed that he often wears quite lovely colourful bow ties that you're supposed to tie by hand, but he leaves them untied slightly, so we gave him one of those. So here is the final picture, just when he was in the studio, our studio as in. And then you'll see when you watch the video how he then looks under really cool lighting and in the moment of the video and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, which was so rewarding as well, because we were pleased with how he turned out anyway. And obviously the rainbow wings, they were for that puppet as well, so they were to go on the back of that puppet. The whole thing worked great together, and it worked great when we tested it in here. But then when you actually get it under studio lighting, and on film, wow, it looks brilliant. I'm absolutely thrilled. When he first appears, it's absolutely magical, I think.
So that was Wayne Coyne. That was making Wayne Coyne, and we hope that he is happy. He's seen the puppet actually, and I think he was pleased with it. I think he thought it was all right. So we then thought we would talk about how the process generally of working on the video and working with the band, because it was something that was completely different for us. We've never done a collaboration of that sort before. We don't work that much on film. We have, because we've filmed trailers for our shows and we've done bits of puppetry here and there for things, but this was the first time we've ever done a music video. And with the band asked us if we would work with them to create the storyline, as it were, and the concept for the video. There's quite a strong story in the lyrics of the track anyway.
Yeah.
So we very much...
Yeah, we just drew from that, really.
And then it was a lot of back and forth with us and the band, of kind of us going, what about this? Them saying, yeah, we like this, but how about this instead of that? And could we do this? And
I think the interesting thing is, so like you were saying, I think we've done various bits of filming. So we've both worked in TV stuff, and done some puppetry and stuff for television as well. And we've also filmed some of our own shows. But as a company, as Boxtail Soup, we had never done the kind of start to finish process of the whole thing, coming up with the concept, designing all the stuff and going and shooting it. And I think the biggest difference, and the thing that you have to be most aware of, is that where for a show we are in charge, the buck stops with us, but it also means that we are artistically, what we say goes. And we can make all those choices about what we want in the show. We can make all those little design decisions, and we can change all those little things that and make it look exactly how we want it to look. Obviously, for a music video where you're working with a band, ultimately it's about the music. Ultimately it's about the track, and it's about doing whatever you can to support that and to kind of give them something that they're really happy with. Obviously, we were keen to have an input on it, and we wanted the puppets to look a certain way. We made a lot of design decisions, but we were then perfectly willing, when we were showing it to the band, to change anything if they really weren't happy with it. And we had to have much more dialogue in that sense. So ultimately, it's a different way of working because you're working to support someone else's vision, really, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't ultimately as if they were happy, we were happy. It wasn't.
They were very generous. I mean, they gave us a lot of free rein, and they were. Whenever we would show them a puppet, they were like, "Oh, this is fantastic. We love it. It looks fantastic." But there were a few little things here and there that they had input on, where they said, "Oh, we really like this to happen," or "We really want to the stuff with the eyes," and there were particular little things that we changed because that was really what they wanted, and that was what was important, and that was what was quite different for us, I think. Was working to serve, the overall vision rather than just doing whatever we thought was right.
Absolutely. And then when we got onto the set, obviously, then there was us, there was the band, there was Sam who did he did everything. The filming of DOP was all of that. One man band was brilliant, and then there was Liv who did the movement, is the kind of star of the video, and Liv was amazing. They did such an amazing job of movement and working out, and Liv kind of had ideas as well about what we could do with the puppets.
Yeah.
So that was nice as well because it evolved. That was the thing, I think. From we had some ideas to begin with, and we were like, well, how about this? And then there was a wonderful evolution from that to the final project with everybody chipping in. But I felt like it was a really supportive shoot, actually, in that sense. Everybody seemed to be working, everybody seemed to love the track and the music, which was so important, and therefore I think what came out was a real labour of love from everybody's point of view.
And it's nice to be in a situation where you're in a room with a group of other artists, and because you're all working to the same end, and because everybody got on, that it was very easy, and it was very easy for people to feel like they could make suggestions and for everybody to try things out and to ultimately come up with a great result because of that, I think.
So I think probably without further ado we should let you watch the actual video.
So what I'll try and do is I think I'll try and put a link to it at the top if that's possible. If not, I'll put the link in the description, and I'll make sure there's a link to the band and to Sam Kinsella who did the shoot, and to Liv as well, who was as you say, like the kind of mover, the actor, the performer in the video.
And there are then 2 more videos to come. So we haven't seen those yet, and we're very excited, and we can't wait to share them with you once we've got those. But in the meantime, please enjoy Necrofauna and the Garden of Eden by Voka Gentle, featuring Wayne Coyne from the Flaming Lips.
And finally, of course, if you do go and watch that video, don't forget to come back here, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, maybe subscribe, that'd be great, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.